What are you listening to right now at home besides, oh my gosh, Portuguese language songs you have to get up on stage and sing, you fool? I mean, what are you
I
listening to for fun?
I listen to different things depending on what's happening. I mean, I listen to jazz pretty much every day. So,
I'm not sure I
but
knew that.
I just was so busy with live performances. So, this past week, since we last spoke on Monday. Tuesday, the incredible, amazing Hermeto Pascoal was in town from Brazil. He's a legend. He's one of a kind, a savant, an albino savant, they say. But he hears music in ways that other people don't. Music, as in animal sounds and nature sounds. And yeah, if you don't know who Hermeto Pascoal is, you might want to check him out. And then who opened was Jovino Santos Neto, his quintet, and they were so good. And Jovino played with Hermeto for 15 years in the band. So, and then he got to sit in on a couple of the numbers. And he's only got 5 or 6. Hermeto was just awarded a honorary doctorate degree from Juilliard in May.
Unfair.
So
Unfair.
he what he does whenever he's in town.
You
So
just
so at the
collect
end of the
doctorates. I'm running short on doctorates. Better go up to America and pick some up.
number one, I moved here for jazz, but I've definitely seen jazz, and I will get to see the symphony coming up here for a few things.
Okay.
Yeah, and I don't know. The only thing I did play your song, the song that you introduced me to, the pop song. I did enjoy that one, and I mentioned it to my daughter, and she knew it, and she started singing it. So I felt like really cool that I knew a pop song that she might know. Bandcamp, if you haven't heard Bandcamp, is a really great place to hear like original artists.
If there are any humans left old enough to access YouTube but who don't know what Bandcamp is yet, I think we can't help them. They just
Band.
they just
Well,
need to
also
do right.
Bandcamp, if you want to support artists, the money actually goes to the artists and not to whoever.
Yeah, but did you know that Bandcamp is no longer independently owned?
What? When did this happen? That is
And
just
you
wrong.
can guess who bought them, which would explain why I know about it. Yes, the unimaginable. Yes, you said it. I know it. It's on the tip of your brain.
Ooh,
Games company.
the
Epic.
which company?
Well, they're called Epic, but it's a game company.
What?
Yeah. And
Why did you
many
do that?
eyebrows were raised. You may know sorry. You may know Epic Games from such hot tunes as Fortnite.
Oh,
Yeah, that billion-dollar cash cow, multi-billion dollar
um,
cash cow. I know you know
I
Fortnite
don't. I do.
because you know Minecraft.
Oh, Minecraft. Yeah, I know one song from Minecraft. I did teach 2 songs. I only know these for my students that begged me to learn.
Oh, you don't know a song for sure, sure. You they begged you to learn a song from Minecraft? Wait, are you telling me
Yes.
in the last minute of our 1 hour and 20-minute podcast we've stumbled on the true topic of the week? What
Yeah.
songs did they ask you to learn from Minecraft?
It was more like what songs has someone transcribed so that I could teach you to read the music for on Minecraft because I don't know these songs and I don't know if I want to take the time to figure them out myself.
Oh,
But
wow.
well,
Um,
yeah, let me see. One of the songs was really pretty actually. Is there something called Wet Hands?
I mean, I'm not familiar.
Sweden was the main one. I've taught Sweden to several people. Well, Sweden is nice. It's pretty. I mean, it uses some interesting rhythm and chords. I mean, it doesn't have like
Very, very nice.
a super strong melody or anything, but it's got some pretty chords and then Wet Hands. I'm trying to remember what that one was like. That was more of an arpeggiated thing. I have this interesting student. I'm changing the subject because I have this
Not at all.
student he's brand new. He just started like a month ago. And he's a little tricky to teach because he's just started making up songs and which is really great. And they finally got him a piano. Like he didn't have, or at least it's a digital piano, but it has a recording thing. And he loves to look on YouTube and learn all this stuff. And I'm like, okay, well, you also need to learn to read and learn your scales and learn all that. But then he'll like want to learn a song that he doesn't have the technique for yet.
Oh, well, yeah.
It's really tricky because he's like, oh, can you teach me Paco Balcana? Can you teach me like For Elise? Can you teach me all these songs? And then he's making up this cool stuff, but he needs to get better technique. And I mean, he'll sound better if he isn't so bangy on the piano, and I gave him these things to explore. Yeah. So anyway, it's very tricky.
I like that you are challenged. I like that music theory doesn't solve every problem in your life. Somehow this is very reassuring.
Like, how am I going to get through to this guy? Yeah, it's tricky. It says basically what I have to do is torture him with music that isn't as interesting so he can develop his eye.
And
Yeah.
isn't everything like that, just to a matter of degree? Children are always excited by a concept, but if they see the most, technologically advanced or developed version of that concept too soon, they judge everything else against that unfairly and think that only the hype, emotional value in it is what they want to pursue. Like the average human doesn't know any better, right?
And part of the reason you're going to the teacher is to go, okay, this is what would help you, the foundation. But they don't necessarily want that.
Nobody wants foundation.
Right? Especially when he's pretty bright, he's bright and he has a pretty decent ear and he's making up stuff. So then I'll hear what he's making up and I'll go, okay, based on what you're playing, you might want to play the relative minors. And I'll say something about theory that he doesn't really know because he hasn't learned it, but I'll go, try this chord with that, try this, add this to your composition. And then the next week he'll come in and go, I added this to and it's kind of cool. It's exciting. But I told the parents, I was like, he's a little tricky to learn for me to figure out should I just keep encouraging him on his improvisation? Because that's actually cool. Not everyone does that.
How old is he?
He's probably, I think he's 5th grade. Okay. So he's a little older, right? He's been teaching himself. Some students just pick up things by ear really quickly. So if you play it, they're listening and they're playing it, which is actually, I think, great because it's much harder to teach ear training than eye training. But what am I going to do?
It's interesting. Like every student has their own challenges. I know from tutoring English, and the thing I would most hate myself for of all if I was to move 20 years into the future and then find out what kinds of English users my students all became, if I found out that I had inadvertently contributed to the dislike of English or language usage through assignments and things, I would die. I would just die on the spot. That's the last thing
I know.
But,
I know.
But
I've done it before, I think, accidentally. But
yeah. But
when I had students that ooh, this guy he's got some potential. I need to make sure he has his vegetables. Instead of remembering that the thing that makes him happy or to eat all his dessert first,
Right.
But it's tricky, yeah.
All right, we started agreeing on things. The show's over.
Oh, damn it.
This is great. Thank you. I'll cut out about 4 different shows from this, so you don't have to show up until July now.
All right, vacation time. Is this paid vacation?
You can put in a request. There are certain criteria that must be met, and as a new employee, I'm afraid you do not meet them.
Okay.
But, try again in
thank
60
you so
days.
much. This has been a true joy.
That's great. Thank you. Great. As long as it wasn't an annoyance, I'll take anything, but a true joy even. That's a tough thing to measure up to next time. So, goodbye and have a good week, Discord bird.
Hey, Hey, dodecahedron.
Is that a secret
Spicy.
way of saying you're very, very square, but just don't recognize it?
My dad went through this. He was teaching make dodecahedrons in class, and
I mean, be
wouldn't
interesting
you
in the
like
family.
wouldn't you like to have a high school geometry teacher that made you make dodecahedrons?
If he made me make them, no. But, it might be interesting or a nice change of pace around the household to be swearing at your parents in the form of, you polygonal jerk.
I like it. All right.
All right. See ya. Have a great week.
Okay, you too.
Doo-doo-doo.
Bye. You do.